nobody's watching yet, so we're good. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, now we're live on Facebook as I'm singing. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, so guess what that means? It's Coffee Chat with Billy and BT on Rudy Real Estate. We're live here in my podcast studio-ish. I guess I don't know. It's my office. And I'm here with my friend Dede Stoner with Guild Mortgage with our mortgage update.
Yeah.
I called her up and I said, hey, you ready to do another coffee chat? It's time. It's the first of the year 2025, and I just kind of want to see what's going on out there.
Sure.
I'm hoping that buyers are finally starting to think about getting off the fence, that this is where we're at with interest rates now.
Absolutely.
Yep. So how are you?
It is good.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for the coffee.
Oh, yes. We're trying something new today.
Yes.
We have our
Peppermint cold
squirrel.
brew.
Sorry, I
Cold-
see people out the window. Squirrel.
Squirrel peppermint cold brew with cold foam. Yes.
Yes.
It's a delight.
Actually, it's very tasty.
It's my treat.
It's very refreshing.
Definitely a treat, right?
Yes, it is.
So for maybe those who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of history, who you are.
Oh, the favorite question. Tell us something fun about yourself.
Fun fact time.
All right. Well, I'm Dede Stoner. I work for Guild Mortgage Company. I've been a mortgage lender since 2008 when our market was crashing here. So it was a really fun time to take the leap into lending. Yep. Before that, I do have an underwriting and processing background. So that's super helpful when I can set up files when I'm presented with challenges and stuff. Figure out how to put those together. But I've been with Guild Mortgage now collectively 14 years.
Wow.
I think I'm going on 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
About as long as I've been in, 15 years real estate.
Yeah.
So yeah, about the same time. It's a long time, right?
It is a long time.
But it goes by so quick.
It does. Yes. Holy cow. How am I coming up on almost 20 years already?
Right? You're like, whoa, where's the time go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you come to me with a problem. Your problem is you want to buy a house, or maybe you want to refinance, or maybe you need to buy out in a divorce situation or something. You come to me and I'm your problem solver. And that's my 30-second elevator speech.
Yes. And definitely a problem solver. Like I always tell people when I refer you, she's an out of the box thinker. She'll try to get it done creatively, like, somehow, some way.
Yes.
You will try to get it figured out.
Most
of the time you do.
Most of the time.
Yeah. I think maybe less than 1%.
I have a small percentage just because, nobody's perfect. I'm definitely far from perfect. And sometimes there's just some situations that
you just can't.
We just can't.
Yeah.
Or we need
or
to
just
work
not
with-
right now.
Or just not right now. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
It's not no forever. It's just
not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
And I deep down inside, I'm a people pleaser, so I hate saying no. So I'm going to do what I can because they don't like being told no. When they want to buy something.
So. Who likes to be told no? I don't know. Maybe there's somebody out there that's watching that likes the word no. Maybe,
right?
I don't know.
And in this day and age, we have everything instantly, right? We want for nothing.
Right.
So to be told no in a day of, in a period of, you can get whatever you want, whenever you want, at the click of a finger.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, because now it's pretty easy to get pre-qualified online, right? You don't even really have to call you right away. You just click a button, apply online. Yep. And then you contact them, and so maybe give us a little bit of what that journey looks like. Sure. So if someone's watching, I'm thinking about buying a house. What's their next step there?
Yep. Perfect question. I actually get that question a lot with first-time home buyers, and even those who own their home for a long time and they haven't gone through the process in a while. They kind of forgot, and things change so much that 1 year we didn't need to verify income, and then 10 years later we're scrutinizing every line in the bank statement. Right? So
they're asking for your heritage, blood work.
Yep. What is that $2,500 deposit in your bank statement?
Yeah. Just be prepared to open your life.
Sure. And in reality, we're loaning you hundreds of thousands of dollars on the hope that you're going to pay it back. So,
and I think people forget that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a risk.
So, exactly. Would you loan $300,000 to somebody without getting a little bit of background?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Right.
So that's kind of the same thing here. We're trying to mitigate risk and not put people in a bad position.
Well,
So-
and that, yeah, that's just it too, is, I mean, that's why we had that whole crash, right?
Mhm.
Because there is lending money
Oh,
left, right, to
sure.
whoever, not
Yeah.
asking a question, and
Mhm.
then look what happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's actually not that scary of a process. I've had many clients come in super scared, and when we get to the closing table, they're like, "Wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be." So it's much better if people come in with an expectation and we can make it
Yes.
better.
Yeah.
But we're just going to talk about basically where you live the last 2 years, where you've worked the last 2 years. You don't have to work at the same job for 2 years to get a home loan.
Okay.
You can even be starting a new job, but where the question is going to come in at is the type of income that you're earning. Are you earning a salary? Perfect. We love salaried earners because it's the easiest income to
Because they always know
analyze.
exactly
Mhm.
what
It's
they're
exactly
gonna
the same
get.
every single month.
Yeah.
If you make an hourly wage, do you work a set of hours every single week? If yes, we love that too. But most people do not work a set of hours.
Right.
I see hours all over the place. I'll see 37 hours, 25, 16, 18, 36, 29. I'm like, what?
It's like,
What is this?
woo!
And so anyway, when we have situations like that, then that kind of changes the timeline on when somebody may be able to buy a home. Because when you have unstable employment, it's unstable income, which looks a little bit shaky
Scary.
to a lender who you're trying to borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
And so just word to the wise. Many people don't think anything of it. They're like, oh, I get to go home an hour early today. Oh, I get to go home half an hour early today. That adds up really quickly. So when I ask people how many hours a week they work, they'll tell me 40 hours. Well, then I'll go and I look at the year to date. So what we do, well, for the math nerds out there,
Get your calculators.
Yep. So we take the total year to date gross. We see what through the pay period, what day of the month. So let's say it was the 15th and there's 30 days to keep things easy. So let's say your pay period's through December 15th. So that's 11 and a half months that I'm going to divide into that gross income. That's going to give me the average monthly income.
Okay.
If that average is less than what your hourly wage times 40 hours a week is, that tells me you're not working 40 hours a week.
Okay.
So then that opens up another book or another box or another can of worms of, okay, why aren't we working 40 hours a week?
Right.
So that's where those little things come in at that we're working on behind the scenes that come up that could have an impact on what somebody's qualified for. Because if you're not working 40 hours a week, then you're actually making less money than that. And so many people, they don't realize, they don't even think twice about it. They're like, oh, well, I left early 3 days a week. Well, that adds up.
Yeah.
It adds up a lot. And it adds up with your income too, if you think about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Every little hour counts.
Yeah. It turns out to be thousands of dollars a year.
Wow.
Yep. It's taking off an extra half hour a day.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Miss out on.
So what would you say to like someone like me that is a business owner or maybe commission only?
So income like overtime, bonuses, commission, those you have to work at least 12 months before we can use it for qualifying. The foundational guidelines state 24 months. And so there are lenders who choose to stick with the 24 months because 2 years is considered a good average of taking the highs and the lows.
Right.
But there is, it is in the guidelines, but again, not every lender chooses to do this. As long as you've worked it for at least 12 months and it's likely to continue. And I say that not every lender does this. It's because it's a level of risk and every institution has its option to decide what levels of risk they're going to take.
Right.
And those are, you'll hear the word overlays a lot, and that's what that is.
Okay.
So although the guidelines state minimum 24 months, but you can do 12 if this and this.
Okay.
Not every lender wants to go that route.
Right.
So I use that as an example when I teach the class that I had someone who was a car salesman. He'd been there, I think, 14 or 15 months, 16 months maybe. And he had been to 3 lenders and they all told him no because he hadn't been a car salesman for 2 years. And I kept telling him, no, we can do this. We can do this. It took several months for him to understand or to trust me that we could do that because he had 3 other lenders saying absolutely not.
Yeah.
We can't do that. And we did end up closing on his
Nice.
home. Yeah.
Nice.
I think by the time we closed, he worked there 20 months. I
Okay.
think so.
See,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
may not be now,
Mhm.
but it will happen, right?
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
It's not like just like, I want to buy a house today. Let's go.
Yep. We would love it if we did that.
Wouldn't that be nice? I would love that.
It just, people's financials are, everybody's messy.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't-
all over the place.
It's just like a fingerprint.
Mhm.
Everybody's financial picture is different.
Mhm.
And so what worked for your neighbor or your cousin or your brother or your brother's wife or your cousin's uncle's wife,
Yeah.
you know, I hear all of these stories. Well, this person said this and this and this. Well, they don't tell you the whole picture, first of all. And everybody's interpretation of their finances is
Yes.
different as well. And the interpretation of what they're getting for a loan is different too. So people say, well, I got this interest rate. So then I'll have clients come to me and say, well, my neighbor got this interest rate. I'm like, okay, well, what's their credit score?
So many
What
factors.
loan program did they get? What was their down payment?
Mhm.
All of these things go into that. And
Mhm.
so it's just, you give me the pieces and I put the puzzle
She's
together.
gonna sit there and put the pieces together.
Yes, just like this. And sometimes a gust of wind comes
Yeah.
and blows all the pieces off, and then I have to
I like that analogy. I can see you on the floor.
Yep.
Trying to put the pieces together.
It is.
So let's talk about credit score and like how important that is, and
Mhm.
how to keep your credit score at a good level where you can get qualified.
Yep. And I was actually just talking with somebody about this last night. So with credit scores, there are programs that will work with lower credit scores, but it's not just about the credit score. It's about your credit history and your trend of credit. You could have a 620 credit score, but have 4 pages of collections and no open, clean credit. So it's not just about the score. When we're qualifying somebody for a home loan, we take the credit report and we have all this entered into our operating system, right? So we've got our electronic application system that we're entering in all the income, has all your application information, it pulls in the credit report, and then we run it through what's called an automated underwriting system. And so it's actually analyzes all of that information, including the credit report and the history on your credit report. So I've even had times where somebody's in a low 700s and I cannot get an approval on a conventional loan. I could on the FHA loan. Okay. But not on the conventional loan because it did not like something in the credit report. There was something in that credit history that the automated system did not like. Okay. So even though this person had it was a low 700s, and I was like, what in the heck is going on here? This doesn't make sense. Right. But there was just, and I don't remember what it was in the credit. If it was minimal credit, low, not much. There was just something in the credit report that the system didn't like. Okay. So it's not just about your score, it's about how you use it. Now, how you use it, this is super important.
Yes, let's hear it.
Collections, they will cut your score at least 100 points the first time they report. And then they report every single month after that. And so it's a constant bam, 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 bam. You hear that? Bam, bam,
100 points is a lot.
It is a lot.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And that's just for one collection.
Because if you're at 7, it's going to drop you to 6.
It absolutely will. Crazy.
Yep.
So, and sometimes it's tough, like with medical collections.
I was going to ask you.
We'll come up to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll come up to that.
Because I know a lot of us have that.
Yep. But like with medical stuff, the hospitals automatically just throw that into collections. And I don't know what their reasoning is or anything like that. I've been told by people that they were on payment plans and then all of a sudden they got notification of these being put into collections, bills being put into collections that should have been paid by other sources.
Like insurance,
workman's comp, stuff like that. So it's very damaging. Yeah. When it's credit cards or car repos, there's an old adage of, oh, well, if I wait 7 years, it's going to fall off. That may have been true at one time. I see credit reports every single day. It's not true. It's not true.
Okay.
And collections get sold to other collection agencies all the time. So if that 7 rule were true, that time starts over every time a collection agency gets it.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that collection is just constantly rolling over. And so it doesn't, let's say this as nicely as possible, it does not do you any good to put your head in the sand about
Just pay the damn bill.
exactly. And I have a great gal at Valley Credit Union who helps my clients get consolidation loans together
Oh,
to
okay.
help pay those.
That's always an option.
Yep, absolutely. So not only you get the collections paid, which will start reporting on your credit report, doesn't just automatically improve your scores because it's still part of your credit history, but at least it stops
The dings.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're building a positive credit history with the installment loan.
Okay.
Yep. So there's that.
And plus you save possibly on interest rates too,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because I always encourage people to try and settle as well.
Yeah.
Because usually those balances will include a lot of interest and fees versus what the original balance was. And sometimes, even though it seems like the last few years it's getting harder to do this, they're not, the collection agencies don't seem to be as open to doing this, but asking them if you have the money available, and so this would be after you get the consolidation loan ready. Say, let's say you owe $3,000 on something. Go to them and say, I can give you $1,000 today. Would you consider that and call this paid in full? And some places will do that. There might be some differing back and forth on that. But in that event, you would also have to make sure and get documentation for that, because I have had people settle their collections. We go to pull a credit report, and it's still there. 4 months later, there's still a balance there. They call them to say, hey, and they're like, we never agreed to that.
Wow. Yeah. So get it in writing.
Get it in writing. And a lot of these, it's really weird. A lot of these places will say, we can't give you a receipt. Yes, they can.
Why couldn't they give you a receipt?
Right? I don't understand why they say that. So
I
always say you can use my email, you can use my fax number. They try to say that they're going to mail it to you. They never mail it. Yes. So just really be insistent on getting that documentation.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. And then late payments. Late payments, same thing, 100 points on your late payment.
100 points on a late payment?
It does not matter if it's a $25 minimum payment on your credit card. It is a 100-point hit on your credit. And just because you pay it, you get it paid current or you pay it off, it does not remove the late charge or the late reporting.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So set up those auto pays.
Yeah, super important. Make sure and keep up on those payments.
Yeah.
And then credit card balances. This is one of the biggest impacts on credit that I see. The credit bureaus hate high credit card balances. They just hate it. And they will knock those scores hard for high credit card balances. So if you're a person that pays them off every single month, you just have to make sure, find out when they report so that you pay it off at least 5 days before they report.
Okay.
Otherwise, the credit bureaus, they don't care if you have a history of paying it off every single month. All they see is a maxed out credit card, and they're going to ding your scores, and it's 40 to 50 points. It's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So if paying them off every single month isn't an option, keeping them at 30% or below.
I was just going to ask you, what's a good range?
But you don't have to carry a balance to build credit.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that
as
well. I usually tell people when we're trying to build credit, credit card's the fastest way to build credit. And so I'll say, get your credit card, only charge $25 on it once, pay it off the next day. In 2 months, charge another $25 on it, pay it off the next day. You do not have to carry a balance to build credit. You can actually hurt your credit doing that. And I've had a lot of people come to me and they've got 4 or 5 small balance max out credit cards, and they said that, well, I'm trying to build credit, and they thought that if they max out the credit cards and then only made the minimum payment, that's what was building credit, but that actually destroyed their credit.
Wow.
So we had some work to do.
Yeah.
So, and that happens a lot. So it's a common, I don't know if it's old information. I
think so, or they hear it from a family member.
Yeah. So you're not alone if you thought that or heard that. It's out there. It's just not accurate.
Right. Woo.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's a lot of info.
It is.
And if you're watching and you have a question for Dede, or I can't really speak on the lending stuff, but just put it in the chat and we'll try to answer any questions that you might have. So is there anything you want to chat about? Like any loan
Sure.
programs you've got going on that you want to promote?
We do, but can we talk about the medical collections first?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So this is pretty exciting, although I did read something this morning that there's concern that this may not go through. But at this time, the CFPB, which is basically a financial watchdog group that was put into place after the housing market crash, and they regulate all of us in one way or another. And financial institutions, et cetera, get monitored by the CFPB. Well, they have passed a law that medical collections are supposed to be removed off of credit reports, and they've put in a ban in place that they cannot be reported.
Ooh.
Yes. So it's not an immediate right now. They have to sign something into law, and then it goes into effect 60 days after that.
Okay.
So if this does come to fruition, that's going to be huge for so many people because those medical collections, although we don't count them, we don't look at them, we overlook them.
Okay.
But they're still impacting the credit.
Right.
And so that's what's preventing many people from either buying a home in general, or maybe they're stuck in the homes that they have now and they're unable to sell and get something new because they have these medical collections that have wrecked their credit.
Right.
So this is going to be huge if it comes to fruition.
Well, that'd be good.
Yes, but I guess there's a concern that once the new president and his people come in, there is a concern that he's not going to allow it to go through.
That he'll drop it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
don't do it.
I know. I can't imagine why you would not.
Yeah, because we're trying to get people into homes, right? And with the medical thing's a little bit different, right? Sometimes you will run into a situation you can't help it, and maybe you're not insured, or maybe your insurance doesn't cover certain things, right? And then what do you do?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna get on a soapbox about the whole medical situation, but can we talk about a little bit, like, okay, why is it a different price if you're paying cash versus if you're insured? I'm just throwing that out there for any of my medical people that might know the answer to that, because I think it's weird and it doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Okay, there we go. I just threw it out there.
I know. That whole thing is a whole different animal that I don't understand. Did you see the post of somebody having a rabies treatment and it was $34,000?
What?
Yeah.
For rabies treatment?
Yeah.
$34,000.
Yes.
Why? Isn't it just a shot?
No, apparently it's a process.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did they have rabies, or they thought they had rabies?
They got bit by a feral animal.
But did they know that the animal had rabies? Oh, geez, Louise.
No, I was just surprised because that's what my assumption was, just going to get a shot.
Well, don't they normally test the animal first to see if they have rabies, and then
they
do
a feral? I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that. I would have been like, oh, I better go pour some peroxide.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have occurred to me to do
Slap some duct tape on, right? You're good. $34,000.
Yeah, I was really shocked at that. Like, holy cow,
that's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no wonder we struggle with medical debt in this country.
It's ridiculous.
The cost is just astronomical.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. So hopefully this is going to continue to go through, and it'll help
hopefully
so many people. So many.
Yeah. Cross those fingers.
Yeah. Okay. So on to just a little more fun stuff.
Yeah, let's stop talking about the negative stuff. There's so much negativity going on right now.
I know. And buying a home is actually really fun. And what's really nice is the general mood of it has changed after the election. And so people seem more optimistic about what's going to happen going forward. And it kind of has got some people off the fence that were on the fence before.
Right.
But there were so many people that were just waiting to see what was going to happen with the election.
This happens every election.
Yep. And once it was over, it was like that cloud lifted and people started becoming interested again. So I think that it's accepted that interest rates are where they are. I know they've been saying for years that they were going to drop, and they never did. Right. right? So now they've actually, I feel like they had to come to Jesus with themselves, and they're like, okay, we need to stop
Yeah.
making these terrible predictions.
Right.
And now they're saying we may end up mid-sixes by the end of the year.
Okay.
So right now they're not at that. They're a little bit higher.
Yeah, aren't they around like 7 right now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure are.
Yeah. But the thing is, you guys, you'll use a credit card that's 27%.
Yep.
Right? Or when you buy a car,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be up there. But with the house, which is like probably one of the best investments you can make.
Absolutely.
Once you drive that car off a lot, it depreciates by, I don't know how much, a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the stuff, the crap that you're buying using your card, where's the return on investment?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep. And we've really gotten used to, like I said at the beginning, everything's really easy, right?
Yeah.
Do what we want, buy what we want, get what we want at just a click of a button. And our spending has followed that trend.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually I started paying attention to this about a year and a half ago. And paying attention to how people spend money, because I see incomes have gone up tremendously in this area, tremendously. Now, that's not to say that we don't have the lower paying jobs. That is, the lower paying jobs does make it more difficult to purchase a home in today's market.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is a fact. But in general, the hourly rate for jobs I see is anywhere from 23 to 30 plus an hour here.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So incomes have gone up, but you know what happens when incomes go up? We spend more.
Mm-hmm.
And so on average, and I encourage all of you, this is going to be a moment of getting comfortable here. Look at your bank statements.
Oh, I know. I need to do that.
And see how much you're spending on things that are not of essentials. And you will subscriptions. I myself canceled $400 a month in subscriptions.
Are you serious?
Didn't realize that I had.
Okay, how did you find those subscriptions? Like, you just went through your bank statement for the year?
Yeah. Okay. Some of them I was pretty aware of, and I'm like, this is really dumb. I need to stop doing these.
Mm-hmm.
And then other ones, it was just automatic. Like, oh, I got this in the mail. Oh, I got my monthly box in the mail.
You're Ipsy. Your makeup Ipsy package.
Like, this is so dumb.
It adds up.
Yeah.
It adds up.
So I canceled almost every single one.
Wow.
And then I was going to cancel my XM because I was up to $30. I'm like, how did my XM get up to $30? I'm like, I listened to it 15 minutes to work and 15 minutes home. So I called to cancel it. And they actually gave me a deal.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, they gave me a deal. I think I'm at $7.99 a month for the first year, and then it'll go up. And she said, just give us a call
I need to do that. Thank you.
And I felt so guilty doing that because I'm like, I don't want to be that person that I'm threatening, which I wasn't. I was truly going to cancel it. I'm not that person. But they just made me an offer. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. $7.99 a month, so I don't have to listen to local radio.
I cannot live without my XM.
My 80s and 90s channel is my favorite.
Yeah, the Fly Station. I listen to the old 90s hip hop. I can't. Or Pitbull Station.
So, see what your subscriptions are. The gaming fees that I see. The
gaming fees?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like they pay
those
games.
app games?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. DoorDash and Uber.
Oh God.
Come on.
Talk to my son. Put that one, please.
Yep. So on average, I will see people spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month on non-essentials.
On DoorDash? Or just non-essentials?
Non-essentials.
Oh, okay.
Stopping at the gas station. Okay. I will see 8 debits in a bank statement of stopping at the gas station 8 times a day. I'm like, what? I don't have time to pee 8 times a day.
8 times a day at the gas station?
Yeah. Yep.
I will put off putting gas in my car until it is the needle is way past and I can feel it starting to slow down. That's how I do not want to go to the gas station.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So these are just things that I see because I have the reason why I do this, and I truly don't care what people spend their money on. But the reason why I looked at it is people were getting mad at me
Yeah.
because I was not able to qualify them for a home.
It's because it's easy to put the blame on someone
Exactly.
else.
Instead of looking at the reason why, I was the bad person.
Yeah.
And so I don't like being the bad person.
Right.
I like providing information and here's what we can do. Here's what we have to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So I started paying more attention because it just became more and more of a problem of people getting upset. And that's what I figured out. So yes, we're in a higher price range time. Yes, we're in a higher interest rate time. Although the interest rates are actually an average, we were just very spoiled.
Oh yeah.
During the COVID period,
Mm-hmm.
Which both good and bad, because those who bought during that time have wonderful equity in their home. They have a wonderful interest rate right now, but that's not normal. If you look at historical rates,
Oh yeah.
this is normal.
This is
what
normal.
That was not. We just got accustomed to that.
Mm-hmm. I almost wish they didn't do that.
I know, me too.
It's just like
I agree.
It actually hurt
Mm-hmm.
the situation.
It absolutely does. Because there's many people now that they don't want to sell their house because they have interest rates.
Yeah.
Even though they have wonderful equity in their home right now. It's a tough pill to swallow to go from 2-3% interest rate to 7%. It's a tough pill.
Yeah, but are you gonna stay in a house that you hate, or you've outgrown? Maybe you add some kiddos to the family or whatever. It's all things to think about.
Yeah.
And what was I talked about this last week, I think. What was the stat they said? On average, a homeowner is sitting on about what was it, $300,000 in equity or something like that?
It was a big number.
I was like, holy cow! I mean, I believe it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, dang, that's insane.
Yep. Yeah.
So that just shows you, right? Like those people that didn't buy, they're probably like, oh, dang it, because I would have had all this equity already.
Right.
So.
Yep. And there's that too. For the last 5 years, I've had people saying, "Oh, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for prices to drop. I'm going to wait for prices. I'm going to wait for prices to drop."
Going up.
Everything keeps going. Yep.
Those prices keep increasing. Everybody's like wanting the market to crash. It's like,
right. And that's the whole other thing.
Keep waiting.
If the market crashes, guess what? People are losing jobs. You're losing your jobs. Wages are going to go down.
Why would you wish for that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just a bad thing altogether. So anyway, what we do is we take the situation that we have, we figure out how to make it work for us, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a waste of energy to be mad at interest rates or sales prices or whatever. How do we take this situation and make it work for us? Yeah.
Yep.
So one of the things, like I said, that I noticed, take a look at your bank statements, get uncomfortable, add up what you're spending on things that are not utilities, housing, your car payment, the essentials. Yep. Take a look at that and how much can you cut out and put aside in a savings account.
You know what I thought? Have you heard? Okay, you're on TikTok, right?
I'm not.
Okay, well, it's going away anyway, probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But
you're the one I think about every time I see.
I'm gonna be so sad. but I guess there's some trend, no spend 2025, where
really?
These TikTokers are saying they're not gonna spend any money. Obviously, essentials, right? You gotta still pay for your house and stuff, but they're not going out buying new clothes or things for their house unless it's an essential thing, right? And I thought that's interesting. Like. That might be kind of a cool challenge to try.
Yep.
I mean, even for a few months,
right?
And see how that feels.
Yeah.
And then there was another documentary, and I can't remember what it's called. Maybe the one where it talks about overconsumption of Americans. And how much?
What's it called?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have the screenshot saved. Somebody had mentioned it somewhere, and so I screenshotted it to go back and look.
I would remember the name of it. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, just type it in.
Said it.
I want to watch it. Like I heard it's really good and kind of eye-opening.
Yeah.
Because I think that we do kind of forget, like, do we really need that? Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Save up. My boyfriend Corey, I'm really proud of him. He's very much a free spirit, and he's younger, so he has plenty of time to decide what he wants to do with his life. And so he's a free spender.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't take it with me. I'm going to spend it. Well, he's in a different position where he's realized that his spending is put in an uncomfortable position.
Right.
So he's working really hard on rectifying that situation. And so we very rarely go out to eat, mainly because
It's expensive.
it is expensive, and I don't want to go out in the public when I'm already home because we live in the boondocks.
Oh yeah.
So, and also I don't know. We used to make it go more. We just don't do it as much anymore. I cook a lot. So anyway, we were having breakfast for dinner just a couple nights ago.
I love breakfast for dinner.
Eggs, corned beef hash out of the can, which is my favorite.
Oh wow.
So let's fry it up. Corned beef hash. When we go to restaurants for breakfast and they have corned beef hash on the menu, I always ask them, "Is it the canned stuff?"
Is that like an Irish thing?
I don't know. Or is it the homemade stuff? I don't want homemade.
You want the
I want the it's the little square potatoes and then whatever the meat is. It's
what do you do? Do you just pop it in a skillet and warm it up?
Fry it because I like.
Oh, you fry it.
Yeah, I like to have that little crisp.
Oh, okay,
crust
okay.
On it.
Is it like hash browns on steroids? Kind of like.
I don't even know if I would call it that because you don't. The potatoes give it the meaty texture, but it's whatever the corned beef.
So it's actually like a beef.
It's. I don't want to call it a paste because it's really not a paste, but it looks like a paste when it smells like cat food when it comes.
Oh, it does? Does it look like cat food too?
No, I think it does.
Does it look like what a cat would vomit?
Maybe.
A little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
You just kind of like, forget about it.
It's so good though. But
I'll have to try it now.
Yes, you have to try it.
Cat vomit
So we ate a can of that, eggs and toast. And I was so shocked that Corey asked me this question. He goes, "How much do you think this meal cost?"
At a restaurant? Or just in
general? I'm like, what? Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? He's like calculating it.
Exactly. So we talked about, okay, so the can is what, $3 or $4 from the gas or grocery store. The loaf of bread is $3. I get eggs at Costco, so you get 24 for $6. And so we broke it all down to be just, probably less than $7
per person
for
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And could it feed you twice?
No, it was just one for.
Oh, okay.
It was just for one.
Yeah. Well, I've been into this crock pot thing lately because so my husband who is watching. Good morning, Frank. He's the cook in our household. Thank God, because I would just be a stick thin figure because I don't cook. Here's why. I have ADD. Okay, I haven't been officially diagnosed, but I have all the signs. Okay. I don't like sitting at a stove waiting and turning things and stirring things and going by the stuff and planning it. I can't do it. But I'm a crock pot guy. I can take a piece of meat, throw it in the crock pot, turn it on, and not think about it for 8 hours. That's my thing. I can do that. But like a big chuck roast, like $25, right? Throw that in, carrots, potatoes. So that would feed us for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's like things to think about, because especially if you have a family, right?
Right. Yeah.
How do I feed my family? So that would be a good challenge. Like, how can I budget?
Yes.
Keep it within this amount per month. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
I just kind of went out in left field somewhere.
But we do have to look at that differently now because things are so much more expensive than they used to be. So our money is not going as far as it used to. So
right.
If you want to buy a house, it's something that we have to think about is what are we doing in our current lifestyle that we can change to get us into the house that we want to buy. So in a lot of times it is cutting back on those non-essentials. That money that's going towards the non-essentials could A, go into a savings account, B, be added to your current rent payment to make a bigger house payment.
Right.
And you're not really changing, you don't need more money, you just need to move the money around.
Right.
Type of thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Cool.
Yep. So it can be done. It's not going to be fun.
We can do it.
It's just a different mindset.
You got to look at the big picture
Right.
and that final goal of owning real estate.
Yeah.
It's
a forced savings account.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Because you can take out home equity loans eventually, things like that.
Yeah. If you have dreams of owning rental properties, it's a good start to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the way to go.
Yeah. All right. So it can be done. Now, some fun stuff. We just came out with this yesterday, so I'm super excited to go around town and see how we can make this work.
Okay.
We can pair with your employer to offer the employees a discount on their mortgages for working with us.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's say we want to go to an eye doctor and say, all right, we have this program that if you refer your employees to us, here's the benefits that they give, and they'll get a discount from us for using us.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What's the discount on? Like the origination fee?
It could be the origination fee.
fees?
Maybe we waive the appraisal fee.
Oh, okay.
It could be a discount off the rate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's nice.
Exactly.
You guys always have very innovative
things
to make things work. I love it.
Guild is super innovative. I love I always think, God, they can't possibly come up with something different.
And then they do.
And then they do. And even in times of struggle, because the housing market it's been a little bit tougher the last couple
You
years.
guys are feeling like we are.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're still coming out with ways of how do we make this environment work for us. And so different areas have different programs, but we've got great options for helping people who aren't quite ready. I think, what do we call it? The Home Smart program, I think. If you have less than a 600 credit score, you're not ready to get approved yet, or we can't get you approved, you don't have the down payment. If you go through our program and we get you to a point of pre-approval, we'll give you a grant of $4,000.
Wow. Really? Dang.
Yeah, but you have to do the work.
Yeah.
It's not an instant gratification thing. It is, we have to do the work. If you have a 580 credit score, because of credit things, where we have to work on those, because the point of getting that $4,000 is to get to a point of getting pre-approved.
Yeah.
So
that's nice.
Yeah, we'll work with you. Do you want to do the work? That's tough.
Nobody wants to work. Hold on one second. I'm going to turn my air conditioner off. It keeps popping on. It's driving me insane. I don't even know if I know how to turn this thing off.
I can't believe the air is on.
I know. I'm like, what is happening?
I turned it on in my car on accident yesterday because it was hot. And so I thought I just turned the heat down. I turned my air on. I was like, why is this blowing such cold air?
I don't even know how to turn this off. Whatever.
Let's talk loud.
Yeah, let's talk really loud. There was something I was going to say, and now I can't remember. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Another option that we brought on probably about 6 months ago, we brought it on, is we are lending on mobile homes parks. Now, when I announced that, I was sent every person in the city of Billings who wanted a mobile home under $35,000. And 0% success rate on those because of these two things. These two factors are very important with this program. If you have any collections on your credit report, they have to be paid before closing, with the exception of medical. Medical doesn't count. And B, you have to have the 5% down.
Okay.
There are no assistance programs for that. It's not a first-time home buyer program because mobiles are not considered typical stick-built homes. So you do have to have that 5%. It can come from any source, except you can't take a loan out for it. But you can get a gift from anybody, pull from retirement, etc. You can roll in the closing costs, so that's really nice. So your 5% will be whatever the 5% of the sales price of the home, plus the closing costs added into the loan. So it ends up being, so it's 5% of that total, not 5% of the sales price. So it only adds about a couple $100.
Oh, that's not bad.
Roll the closing costs in.
Yeah.
So it's actually, once you get past those two barriers, it's actually a really good program to work with. We should be closing on one at the end, our first one, end of next week.
Okay.
It is not a fast process either, so we always plan at least 6 weeks for closing. If they can close earlier, they will. But so far, they've been really great to work with.
Yeah, because before you couldn't really get a loan on a mobile home.
And it was a big down payment. So the fact that we can do it with 5% down and roll in the closing costs, it really relieves financial burden in that.
Yeah, and it helps some of those first-time home buyers that are ready to make that move, but it's, houses right now, it's hard to find anything decent under 300. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
So it kind of gives that option.
Yep. One of the things that I see as a challenge with some qualifying is the lot rent.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah. Oh,
oddly enough,
can we talk about that lot rent?
yeah, the lot rent at $800 a month
That's
is a lot. So a lot. So while the house payment on, let's say, a $50,000 mortgage is going to be 400 something, the lot rent's double that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and so it's something to think about when.
Yeah, definitely something to think about, because once you bought that mobile home and you're sitting on that lot and they increase it, then you're kind of stuck.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because trying to find that buyer that's willing to pay that much for lot rent, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And most of them are doing that, right? Increasing it to that amount. It's insane.
Yeah. It is.
You better be including maid and
right. I know. Yeah,
it's
crazy. And I don't know if does it include water and utilities and garbage?
Sometimes it does. Most of the time it does. But still,
that's
a lot.
That is a lot
For a little tiny,
yes.
So
agreed. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that we do have that option. And then to go to the other end of the scale, we have a jumbo loan 3% down.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Nice.
which is really great. Typically, jumbo loans are 20% down. Sometimes you can get them at 10% down in a strong market. We haven't seen that for a while just because the market's been, a little different the last couple of years. So we do have a 3% down jumbo. And for those who are not familiar, jumbo loan is any loan program, any loan amount that is at least $1 more than what the typical conforming conventional loan is. So, and that changes every single year. And it changed again this year. I think we're at 800 something, 865 something. So I'm going to throw out a number just for generalization. So let's say on a conventional loan, regardless of what you're qualified for, you can't get a loan amount more than 800,000. So if you buy a home at 1 million, you have to have at least $200,000 down to get into a conventional loan, which conventional loans will usually have a little bit lower interest rates. They're a lot more flexible. They're not as invasive of a loan. Jumbo loans, so let's say you find a home and it's $1.5 million. You would have to have $700,000 down to go conventional. Well, let's say you don't. Let's say you have 500 down, right? So we're now what's considered a jumbo loan. That price range, let's say that person doesn't have that. Let's say they want to buy a $1.5 million home, but they only have 3% down. And so is that 450?
So don't ask me to do math. My brain's not quite ticking yet, okay? I need more of this.
So anyway, let's say somebody wants to buy a home at 1.5, but they don't have 20% down, they don't have the 10% down. We can get into it for 3% down.
Okay.
So that's a huge option, because that's in that price range, that's going to be a bigger amount of money that we're working with. And they may not want to put all their money into the house too.
Right.
I have a lot of people, they just want to do the minimum down because they want to hang on to the funds for other reasons.
Yeah,
whether
or to
they
fix
invest.
something.
Exactly.
Yep.
So this is a good way to get into that dream home with minimum down.
Okay, nice. That's a good program.
Yep. So that's what I have for newbie stuff.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
What time are we at? Let's see. Oh, we got 10 more minutes. Okay, cool. Okay, I have a couple of questions for you. Let me see which one it was. Oh, okay, and you don't have to answer this if you don't feel comfortable, but what is your personal outlook for 2025 in the lending?
Sure. I feel like I have optimism for this year. I actually thought maybe this first quarter we all would be just hopping and jumping.
Yeah.
These first few weeks I'm learning that may not be the case. But I do feel like once we get through the holidays, etc., typically January and February are usually my slowest months.
Yeah.
And that's proving to be true this year. Our spring market usually hits about mid-March when things start getting a little crazy. So to me, I feel like interest rates are what they are, sales prices are what they are. We've all kind of settled into what the economic situation is, and we're moving forward.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
yeah, I feel it. I feel like things are going to be fine. It's just going to be, people are always buying and selling homes. There's always a need for
exactly.
homes. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's always.
yeah, I feel like it's going to be fine.
Mhm.
Everybody has their own opinion, and that's exactly what this is. It's just an opinion, not
Yeah,
facts.
sure.
Right?
Opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like
You're seeing.
I feel like we're going to have a good year.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope so. Because they say last year was probably like, well, for a real estate agent especially, probably one of the slowest
Mhm.
because of the interest rate shock
Yeah,
and election year.
what's
On
that?
top of it, election year.
Yeah.
Election year is always a slow
Mhm.
year. So, all right, let's just move on. It's 2025, people.
Right.
Positive thoughts.
It's gonna be good.
I never thought I would see the day of 2025. Like I don't know, when I was a kid,
Yep.
I always thought 2025 there'd be flying cars,
Right.
you know, like
Yep.
the Jetsons.
Exactly.
That's what I pictured
Yep.
2025. 2025
I did too. And it seemed like it was so far away.
I know, and here we are.
Here we are. Yep.
It's
Yep.
insane.
It
how
is
time goes
insane.
by so fast.
I turned 50 this year.
Ooh, the big
Yep,
one.
The big 50.
Well, you look great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I look like you when I'm 50.
Oh my gosh.
I told my husband, I'm like, I'm gonna have a pity party when I turn 50. I don't want to turn 50.
I don't want to try. I'm not okay with it.
I'm almost there, and I'm just like, can we just stop aging, please?
Stop it right now.
Just stop.
I would have been fine to stop at 45.
Yeah,
And we're good.
40. I would have been great
Yep.
at 40.
Mhm.
Like I didn't have so many wrinkles. Like I
Right?
still see without glasses.
Exactly.
Can we just go back to 40?
Exactly. I can still
pause.
hear. I can still eat chicken nuggets and not have to pay for it.
Oh, God, it sucks. Sucks getting old. Don't get old, people.
Yeah.
What was I was gonna ask you one more thing. Okay, so we'll end it with this. So maybe some people that are watching, and I actually sat with some first-time home buyers last week that are kind of starting to get into the process of everything, and they told me this is scary. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like there's a lot. What advice would you give to those that are kind of like, oh, kind of freaking out?
You know, it's okay to be scared. It's a big step, and let's talk about what exactly is scary. Is it just taking that step? Because it is a big financial commitment. Is that what's scary? Is what you're hearing in the media or maybe in your own circle kind of making you rethink or doubt what you want to do? Is it the process?
Yeah.
You know, because like I said, so many people think it's just much worse process than what it is, and it's really not. When they get done, they're like, "Wow, that wasn't bad at all."
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about what is scary, and it's okay to be scared.
Yeah.
It's There's nothing wrong with that. And we'll just work through that. I mean, that's what we're here for. You're coming to us because you're trusting us to guide you through this process.
Exactly.
And they're trusting you to guide them through the process.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's what I told them. I said, I totally get it. I've been through it, you know, and I'm here to guide.
Yeah.
Your guide, right? Like a tour guide.
Exactly. We're going to tour you through a mortgage.
We're going to tour you through the home buying process. I don't know what that was.
That's our new thing.
I'm going to start doing that. Like a Jedi move. You will not be scared anymore. It's going to be great.
When you're sitting across from me, this is what I'm going to do. It's okay. It's okay.
And then dance around them. My morning started off a little bit wonky, you guys. So have you ever had those mornings where you wake up and it just like nothing goes right? Like I got here I was telling Dede, I got here to the office, my internet's not working, my printer's not working, like my little tripod thing here is falling apart. I'm like, what is going on? I'm trying to get it all done before Dede gets here. She just like walked in right after I got everything complete, and then I could breathe, and then she brought me this, and then everything was okay.
It's all good now.
It's all good now. We're good. Anything else that you'd like to say or anything before we end?
if you have questions, just reach out to us.
Yeah.
Truly, that's what we're here for. And we're not going to pressure you if you're not ready.
Yeah.
That's perfectly okay.
Mhm.
We're here to help you and answer your questions, and we're here to guide you. This is a big purchase. And we want to make sure that you're comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah, it's the biggest investment in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I get a lot, especially in the last few years, this has happened more than previous years, where people will say, well, my parents don't think this is a good idea, or my friends don't think it's a good idea, or people that I work with think the housing market's going to crash, but they're ready to buy a house, right? But they got all these people over here saying otherwise.
And negative.
Let's talk through that. It's okay.
Yeah.
I actually asked one person, I said, is that person buying your house and making your payment for you?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
And so,
And they're probably already living in a house that they own.
and they could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay to have questions. It's okay to ask for opinions, but please just keep in mind everybody's situation and the lens people are coming from, everybody's different.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's going on in their life, in their day. And it doesn't, don't let it hold you back from what you want to do. And that's kind of my goal this year is helping people. If it looks like there's something that's holding people back, I'm going to jump in and say, hey, can we help with that?
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
I love that. I love having you on here. Thank
Thanks.
you so much.
Thank you. I love getting people in the home. I want
Heck yeah, me
I
too.
want people to own their own home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why throw away your money to a landlord? You're paying somebody's mortgage,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's not your own.
Exactly.
And then you don't have the freedom either. You got to do
Exactly.
what they say.
That's the big part of it, because I don't like being told what to do.
I don't either.
I'm not good with rules and stuff like that. I follow them. I don't want to be told what to do. I'm going to do it on my own, right? And being a tenant is hard for me because I feel like somebody's holding something over me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though they're not doing anything wrong, but that's what I feel.
Right.
I feel like I'm being restricted.
Yeah.
And I
That's
don't
not
like it.
too.
Yeah.
You have to ask permission to paint a wall. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm too much.
Ooh, surprise, surprise. Let me see. Okay, before we end, I think there's some people that commented on Instagram, so I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss anything. Real Edit Official says, hi. I know. I'm so blind. Okay. All right, we're good on the Instagram. All right, Facebook. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, Dede.
Thank you.
Oh, how do we find you?
Oh, you can find me. You can email me at dstoner@guildmortgage.net, or you can go to my website, Dede Stoner, guildmortgage.com/Dede Stoner.
Okay.
Yep.
And we can also follow you on.
You can follow me on Facebook.
Social media.
Yep, social media. I'm on both Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
And my office is right over off 32nd and Central. You can grab a sandwich from Great Harvest Bread Company while you're there.
Ooh, I like it. Oh, they got good sandwiches.
There you go.
Living Free Man. Great job. Thank you. Thanks
you.
for watching. I like when people say great job. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Contact Dede if you need any lending assistance. Contact your homegirl, Billy, if you need to get into a house. Either way, we're going to get you in there. All right. We'll see you later. Either way, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.